Howdy, everyone. This is Sharon for South Carolina Nugget. So I am in a different environment, somewhat, just meeting a different room in the house. Anyway, I wanted to try this format out, and we'll just kind of see. Because of the fact when it comes to my office, as I say, it is an office. But as of doing these type of things, especially in standing up, it really doesn't have that capability of doing that. And so this is what I would call my work room, not my office though. And so welcome to South Carolina Nuggets. As you know, these things are like life hacks that's really geared to help you to be in touch with yourself, to do the things you need to do to be successful in life, to be successful personally and professionally. And especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs and business owners. Because one thing that I've discovered in being in the corporate world or being in the mental health world is that we don't talk about self care enough. We don't do self care enough, and we do not integrate it. It is everywhere so that we can be, as people like to say, happy. I like to say joy, so that it can bring you about the things that you need in life so you can deal with the challenges that come along. Because I'm here to tell you, none of us, I mean, none of us, no matter who we are exempt from the challenges of life. There are some challenges in life. What I would like to say that one of my, shall I say, talk show hosts colleague Kim Jacobs like to say, sometimes there are things that are forced upon you, and there are things that we choose in life. And so, whether life circumstances are forced or by choices, you taking care of yourself in every aspect is the thing that's going to help you. Now, remember, whatever channel that you're on, remember to like and share. Remember to turn your notifications so that you will know when these are on. And most of the time with these self-care you nuggets, there's no set time because I always like to say when life unfolds, they never tell us what time it's going to unfold. So when we can expect things in life without knowing the exact time, when we can look forward to things in life, it helps us prepare for life a whole lot better in dealing with the challenges, but also to be able to enjoy things as well. So let's move on. And so what I want to pretty much talk about today, we'll talk about like almost like why self-care is so important. So I'm going to divide this up into, I say, three little mini sessions when it comes to self-care you nuggets, and then add in a little bonus piece of it as well to kind of bring everything together. And so I'm going to talk about resilience, stress management, and empathy. And I don't know if you can see that from here. I can't see it from here, so I don't know if you can as well. But again, resilience, stress management, and empathy. And so when it comes to resilience, this is like the purpose of self care. It is the luxury because, you know, a lot of times when we think about self care, we think about having a cup of tea, or for those of you who drink coffee or even wine, having that, having the massages, and having the chocolate cake or ice cream. It is that. And it's the work that it takes to be you, the work that it takes to live the life that you want, the work that it takes to deal with, you know, the unexpected in life, the things that are forced upon you, and not always the things that you choose. And even if it is the things that you choose, It's the things that you choose that sometimes they may be pleasant and sometimes may not, because it's almost like, just like we kind of talk about the compound interest when it comes to financial investment. Sometimes the things that you may invest in may not be may not be in your best interest. You get that? It may not be in your best interest. In saying all of that, again, resilience, stress management, and empathy. So sometimes, once someone has overcome something, and I've said this one time before, people are like, oh yeah, I got a lot of resilience, is that just because you have gone past something or overcome something, it doesn't always really indicate that you have resilience. It's almost like a side effect or an outcome or the result of something. But to, again, self care is more about being intentional, planning, being insightful. Remember the four pillars of self care. It's in it is self awareness, which is the hugest part of it. And I always say you need the other three in order to help you with the self awareness. And I guess you could say self awareness can lead to knowledge and wisdom. So it's the introspection, self-reflection, self-inquiry. It's that part of yoga. I kind of say we don't always talk about. We know it's a byproduct of yoga, of personal training, of taking care of yourself. It allows you to contemplate the things that you are observing about yourself. And again, sometimes these things are not in that. How much I love it, believe me. It's that rest state and it feels so good. Sometimes it's not. And we need to be, and just like in mental health, I always say we need to be open and honest about that, about the things that are not so easy, the tough parts of it, in which the whole thing is to give people, is to give you tools so that you can become resilient. And so basically resilience is when you're able to bounce back from setbacks and challenges. And this is in life period, whether it's something personal or something related to your job. And like when it comes to your work can impact your personal life at home, and your personal life at home can impact your work or your job. And so this is where self-care is really important. So I would say we cannot compartmentalize ourselves. We can try, but this is where self-care can really, really come into play, because it helps us. I guess you could say it's compartmentalizing in a sense, but not really. But what it really does is helps where you're not impacted emotionally by things that come up. So it will not set you back. So again, self care is helping you, being intentional about self care, help you build resilience when setbacks and challenges come your way. And the other thing is that self care helps you when you're intentional about it with stress management. And it pretty much helps you to enhance your emotional intelligence and your composure, because stress can cripple you. It can cause diseases, it can cause medical conditions, it can cause clinical depression, clinical anxiety, clinical, well, most of the time PTSD is clinical. The other two are not always clinical, meaning like when you look it up in the DSM and someone can be diagnosed. But I would like to say when it comes to anxiety and depression, most of us experience it at some level in our lives. Sometimes you can see it and feel it, and sometimes it's not there. Most of the time, I would say most people in hindsight, they could say, oh, yeah, during that time of my life, I was a little depressed or had some anxiety going on, into that. But again, when you're intentional about your stress management, it allows you to have composure. It allows you to be able, again, to practice self-care technique so that when you need it, you can easily go to it. And remember also, insane about stress management, I developed the RRR, for everyone, but especially for individuals. I would say if you got a job, whether it's 9 to 5, you're a business owner, it's the rest, rejuvenate practices when it comes to all of that, and restore, rest, rejuvenate, restore. And it's different practices that you can do throughout the day because we need it. It's like it has breathing techniques, it has movement, it has dance, it has pretty much different techniques that you can do that can either boost your energy or if you need to settle down, because it really depends. Sometimes self care, even though it's like, oh, you can breathe, but sometimes you may need to breathe so you can settle down, calm down, or to breathe so that you can have more energy and be more energized in doing something. And so, yeah, make sure you go to my website so that you can either get the ebook or the demonstrations of the course and the sessions that have been developed for you. So that's the RRR practice. And the last thing is having empathy. And pretty much is having empathy. The more that you can understand your own taking time, and again, this is where the self-care comes in. It's being intentional about taking time of self-reflection and your own awareness. Because where empathy comes in, even though empathy has to do with others, but the more that you understand yourself, the more you can understand and see others. And this is where this is helpful. One, someone can be going through something, or you can see a reaction that can be triggered. We all can be triggered in different ways, no matter who we are, including me. And so there are some things about me that comes up, and I'm like, half the time I'm saying, I didn't know that about myself. Or things, some of them are things that I have become aware of after I've said, I didn't know this about myself. And so, again, it allows you to be able to see others when they are triggered. And you know how we say that hurt people hurt people. And I'm not talking about the people who are manipulative and things like that. Sometimes they cannot see it themselves. It seems so intentional against you. It's more so intentional about them getting their own needs met. Because at the end of the day, to be honest, we all are trying to get our own needs met in some form or fashion. Sometimes, even if that means for us to avoid something or to get more of something or to make somebody else feel comfortable. But even when I say that and happen someone else to feel comfortable, there's still something about us that we're trying to make feel comfortable as well. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It's not so good when it comes to the people pleaser thing because sometimes one, you can get overworked by it, or someone can definitely take care of it. Take care of it. Someone can take advantage of you, even though you have given them permission and you probably have trained them. Believe me, I know I've had that experience myself. And I would like to say, no, we will talk about that at another time. However, again, when it comes to you taking care of yourself, we want to, especially as self care entrepreneurs, to redefine what self care is. That in order for you to be sustainable as a person, as a business, self care is a no brainer. It's every aspect of who you are. And this is one reason of why, you know, you are an awesome business owner, awesome entrepreneur, because you're doing the things that you need to do to develop yourself. That's one way of looking at it. Self care is all about you developing and nurturing yourself. That's where it's at. So, again, thank you for joining me for Self Care You Nugget. Remember to like and share. Remember, let me know what you think about this nugget and how you incorporate it in your life.